Hello and welcome to e-GMAT. We will solve question number 35 of OG Verbal Second Edition by using e-GMAT 3-step process. In the first step, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. In the second, we will evaluate the errors in the sentence, and finally, we will review all the answer choices to get to the correct answer. So let's begin. The rise in the Commerce Department's index of leading economic indicators suggest that the economy should continue its expansion into the coming months, but that the mixed performance of the index's individual components indicates that economic growth will proceed at a more moderate pace than in the first quarter of this year. Now, this sentence presents a contrast, and but is the marker of that contrast. The sentence says that the rise in the Commerce Department's index of leading economic indicators suggests that the economy should continue to expand in coming months. However, the mixed performance of the index's individual components indicates that economic growth will be more moderate than in the first quarter of the year. Now let us evaluate the errors by splitting this sentence into clauses. So here comes the first clause. The rise in the Commerce Department's index of leading economic indicators suggest. Here, the rise in the Commerce Department's index of leading economic indicators is the subject and suggest is the verb. Presence of that marks the presence of a clause that reads that the economy should continue its expansion into the coming months, but here the economy is the subject and should continue is the verb. After but we have that marks the presence of another clause, and it reads that the mixed performance of the index's individual components indicates. Now here the mixed performance of the index's individual components is the subject and indicates is the verb. Presence of that marks presence of another clause, and it reads that economic growth will proceed at a more moderate pace than in the first quarter of this year. Here, economic growth is the subject and will proceed is the verb. Now, in the first clause, leading economic indicators or the Commerce Department's index cannot be the subject because both these phrases lie in the prepositional phrase which begins from in. Now this prepositional phrase modifies the rise. The rise being the head of this phrase will decide the number of the verb. Now here we see that the rise is written in singular. So we have a singular subject here, but suggest is a plural verb. So certainly we have the subject verb number agreement error here in this sentence. Also, but must be followed by an independent clause. Now notice how but is followed by a subject verb pair, which is the mixed performance of the index's individual components indicates. But that after but makes the entire clause a dependent clause, and thus it leads to a grammatically incorrect construction. Also, the presence of that creates faulty parallel structure. Now it appears that rise of indicators suggest two things. Firstly, that the economy should continue to expand, and secondly, but that something else indicates that economic growth will proceed at a more moderate pace. Now this is illogical list and definitely not the logical intended meaning of the sentence. So we certainly have parallelism issue also in this sentence. Notice that removal of that in the beginning of the third clause will result in the correct logical list structure. So these are the errors in the sentence, and let's run the POE to find out what's the correct answer. Well, choice A is certainly not correct as we discussed just now. Choice B is incorrect for a few reasons. It repeats the same subject-verb agreement error as in choice A, and also is to continue is an awkward expression to talk of an event that will take place in future. It can very well be replaced with more concise and more direct will continue. So these are the errors in choice B. In choice C, well, we again have the error of that after but that leads to a grammatically incorrect construction as explained in error analysis of choice A. Also, this phrase, it's expanding, is a wrong expression. The noun form is expansion. Now, when a specific noun form of the word exists, we should actually use that noun form and avoid the verb ing form. Let's take an example. When we say cigarette smoking is injurious to health, here smoking is the verb ing noun form. Now, the verb is smoke, and the noun of smoke is again smoke, which is very different from the verb smoke, and it is also very different from smoking. So we do not have any other choice but to write the verb ing form of the verb smoke to write this sentence. But let's take another example. The tower's destruction will lead to mayhem. Now, the verb destruct can have two noun forms. One is destruction, which is a direct noun form, and another is destructing, the verb ing form. But here the sentence requires the use of noun form of destruct, so it's better to use destruction in place of destructing. Same is the case with this choice. Here expansion should be the correct expression to be used in this choice. So for these reasons, choice C is also not correct. Now we see that choice D repeats the same error of but after that as discussed in error analysis. Also, the phrase is continuing to expand into coming months is absolutely incorrect. I mean, we are talking about an event that is going to happen into coming months, and it has been written in present continuous tense. So this entire phrase is completely ungrammatical. So these are the reasons why choice D is not correct. Well, now we are left only with choice E, and choice E is the correct answer because now suggests agrees in number with the rise, and is to continue has been replaced with will continue, and this choice takes care of all the other errors that we found out during error analysis. So choice E is the correct answer for this sentence. Let's take a look at the takeaway messages in the sentence. Subject verb pair must always agree in number. Also, the dependent clauses must be appropriately connected to the independent clauses to convey the intended meaning of the sentence in the most effective manner. Also, the intended meaning should be well understood to catch faulty parallel structures. Also, proper verb tense must be used to refer to the pertinent time frame of the action, and we must use idiomatic expressions to convey the intended meaning of the sentence. Now, the concepts tested in this sentence have been covered in e-GMAT concepts, level 1 subject verb agree in number, level 1 sentence structure part 1 and 2, level 1 parallelism identify and correct, and level 1 verb tenses part 1.